Texas family is continuing to fight for their son, who was shot and killed by Tyler police.
Victor Fuentes was shot by a Tyler police officer on New Year's Day in 2013. Police say he was holding a gun and they fired when he did not drop the weapon. An East Texas court rejected the officer's claim to dismiss the case, and in an appeal, the officer's attorney says the testimony of the family should not be allowed. KLTV7's Cody Lillick gives us both sides of the case, according to the only two people who saw the shooting that night.
He was a good kid. He was a family man.
For years, the Fuentes family has said Victor wasn't carrying a weapon when Tyler police shot him. Police responded to a call of gunshots just after New Year's 2013. Fuentes reportedly ran into his home and left the door open. That's when Officer Matt Riggle said he had a gun.
The weapon was aimed at the officer, so he fired at him.
Now, Riggle's attorneys want a court to decide whether or not to accept testimony of Victor's dad, who said he was not armed.
It's not true.
But attorneys for Officer Matt Riggle say paramedics found a gun beneath Fuentes' body that night. Arguing their case before the Fifth Circuit in New Orleans Tuesday, they said Mr. Fuentes' story has not been consistent.
And he said in that statement 7 times, "I do not know if my son Victor was holding a gun." So our position is you can't, under penalty of law, in your recorded interview, make the statement, "I don't know," and then later contradict that.
The family's attorneys say the father would have been the only one, other than Officer Riggle, to have seen if Victor was armed.
He was in a position to be able to see, and he has certainly testified as to what he saw.
But the family told us shortly after the shooting, Victor did have a gun, but it was not loaded.
The gun didn't even have any bullets in it. The gun had no bullets in it at all. Victor would have never shot a cop, never.
With this incident happening prior to the police department implementing body camera usage, the only accounts of what happened that night remain with the officer and the father. Cody Lillick, KLTV7 News.
The court could take weeks to decide whether the officer can have the case dropped for qualified immunity, maybe even months. If not, the case could be sent back to East Texas for a jury trial. Tyler police tell us they finished their investigation and allowed Officer Riggle to return to work. The police department and Chief Gary Swindle were dropped from the case last year.